To access the main board on this model, remove the two screws at the top of the cover panel and lift it off. The first test in this video will be the 120-volt AC input into the power supply board. The gray wire is neutral and the red wire is L1. This voltage should always be present whenever the refrigerator is plugged into a live outlet. The next test is the DC voltage output from the power supply board to the main board. The black wire is DC common, or ground, for the entire DC circuit, and the yellow wire is the 12-volt DC supply. The meter reading reflects the 12 volts. The red wire at the same plug is the 5-volt DC supply. At the CN10 plug on the main board, the voltage can be confirmed by performing the same tests. Black to yellow would again be the 12-volt DC supply to the main board, and black to red would be 5 volts DC. Next, the technician is testing the thermistor sensor voltages. Note how the black meter lead remains in the black wire on CN10 because, as stated earlier, the black wire at CN10 is DC common for the entire DC circuit. The black and white wire, pin number 8 at CN30, is the pantry drawer sensor. Pin number 7, the blue wire, is the fresh food defrost sensor. And pin number 6, the white wire, is the fresh food temperature sensor. This was a simple illustration to show how and where to check sensor voltages. Refer to the temperature, voltage, and resistance chart in the service guide to better understand the meter readings and their corresponding values. Next, the technician is testing the fan voltages. And as noted before, the black meter lead will again remain in CN10 on the black DC common wire, while the red lead utilizes connector CN75 for the fans. The blue wire is the supply voltage to the condenser fan, and it should read somewhere between 7 and 12 volts DC when the board is actually calling for the fan to run. Pin number 5, the black wire, is where the main board monitors the freezer evaporator fan and verifies it is actually turning. The signal voltage should be 2 to 3 volts DC. And the final fan test is to pin number 6, the purple wire. It is the same signal voltage except for the fresh food evaporator fan, and it too should read between 2 and 3 volts DC if the fan is actually turning. Testing of the defrost heaters can be accomplished at the board. In the case here, the technician is testing both the voltage and current draw for the fresh food defrost heater. Checking between the gray neutral wire on the power supply board to CN70 and pin number 7, the white wire should reflect a voltage reading of approximately 120 volts AC when the heater is on. The defrost heater can be forced on with the use of the test mode at the dispenser board. Also note that the amp probe is around the same white wire and reflects a current draw of approximately 1 amp. To test for compressor voltage, once again utilize the power supply board, only this time use CN71 and pin number 7, the blue wire. Taking a close look at the labeling on the board, it is possible to see the abbreviated names for the different components to better assist with proper testing. Another testing procedure for the heaters would be to utilize the defrost heater common pin number 9, the orange wire on CN71, and the defrost heater leads on CN70. Seen first is the white wire, pin number 7 for the fresh food defrost heater. With the heater on, a reading of approximately 120 volts can be seen on the meter. The same test can be performed for the freezer defrost heater located at pin number 9, the brown wire. The final test performed on this video will be the sensor resistance checks. The best thing to remember in the field might be to always use CN10 pin number 3, the black common wire discussed earlier, for all of your DC readings. However, there are other DC common ground pins on this main board, as we will utilize with the sensor resistance tests. CN75 pin number 1 is one of those other common DC grounds. Therefore, with one lead on DC ground, disconnect CN30 to isolate all of the sensors. Pin number 7 is the fresh food defrost sensor. Pin number 6 is the fresh food thermistor. All of the other thermistors can be tested in this same manner. Refer to the service guides for sensor pin locations, as well as the resistance chart. To remove the power supply board, press down on the lower tab and then pull the board out at the bottom to remove it from the upper tabs. For the fresh food light board, pull up on the tab at the top while pulling out at the same time. And for the main board, locate this one screw and then locate the tab at the top of the board and lift up. Once the screw is removed, the board will lean forward and lift out.